Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Gadda. We are going to start a new series on Java 8. This is the introduction video of that series where we are going to discuss about the Java 8 features in brief. In the upcoming videos, we are going to pick up these features one by one in the separate video, and through the real implementation we are going to explain those features. So let's get started for that, and this is the introduction video. Let me try to go to the next slide and explain you each features one by one in brief. So these are the features that we have listed out here, like Lambda expression, functional interfaces, method reference, stream API, comparable and comparators, optional class, date and time API, and some miscellaneous features. These are all features that I have listed out here. These are the features that Java 8 provides us, and these are the features that we are going to discuss in this whole series. In this video, we are going to discuss this feature in brief, and then in the coming videos, we'll pick up one feature at a time, and then we'll explain those features through the real implementation. So let's get started. Let me try to go to the next slide. And first of all, what is Lambda expression? Lambda expression is a way to implement the abstract method of a functional interface. That is what I can say. But let me try to explain you through the uh, description and some others headlines that I have written down here. So in Java, Lambda expression basically express the instance of the functional interface. If you don't know what is functional interface, then let me try to tell you. Functional interface is an interface with a single abstract method. Okay, when an interface is having only single abstract method, that interface is called as functional interface. And there comes the picture of Lambda expression. Lambda expression help us to implement that single abstract method of the functional interface. Okay, so in Java, Lambda expression basically express the instance of the functional interface. Lambda expression in Java are the same as Lambda function, which are the short block of code that accept input as a parameter and result as a resultant value. So in short, you can say that Lambda expression help us in implementing the abstract method of a functional interface. Okay, through Lambda expression, we can directly call the functional interface method. So this is about the Lambda expression, how it is looking like, and what are the body of the Lambda expression, what are the uh, parameters, and all those things we are going to discuss in the coming videos when we are going to explain the Lambda expression through the real implementation. Okay, so this is the brief introduction of the Lambda expression feature of Java 8. Lambda expression is helping us to implement the abstract method of the functional interface. Okay, now let me try to go to the next slide, and let me try to explain you about the functional interface. So as already I have told you that the functional interface is an interface with a single abstract method. Here I have written down this description. Let me try to read it out for you. An interface that contains only one abstract method is known as functional interface. But please note down that there is a no restriction. You can have a n number of default and static method inside the functional interface. So when we are going to define or when we are going to explain the functional interface, we only touch this part, that functional interface is an interface that contains a single abstract method, but we don't define on the uh, default and the static methods. But here I have noted down that when an interface is having a single abstract method, that is a functional interface, but there is a no limitation on the number of default and the static method in the functional interface. So please make a note of that. So a functional interface is a interface with a single abstract method, but there is a no limitation on the number of default and static method. Okay. Now let me try to go to the next slide, and let me explain you the method reference. Method reference is a shorthand notation of a lambda expression to call a method. So at the place of lambda expression, using the method reference, you can call the method. Okay. There are four type of method reference that are follows. static method reference, instant method reference of a particular object, instant method reference of an arbitrary object of a particular type, and constructor reference. All these four type of method reference we are going to explain when we are going to discuss this method reference features in a separate video. Now let me try to go to the next slide, and this is the stream API, which is a very much, or you can say most important feature of the Java 8. The stream API is introduced in Java 8 and it is used to process the collection of objects with the functional style of coding using Lambda expression. So stream API is a kind of API that was introduced in Java 8 which works on collection of object, and with the help of a stream API we can write the code in the form of functional style. Okay, when we are going to uh, discuss about the stream APIs and when we are going to solve a lot of Java 8 asked interview questions using the stream APIs, then we are going to learn more on the stream APIs. So this is the very introduction of the stream API, what it is and when it is introduced and what its purpose is. So stream API is introduced in Java 8 and it is used to process the collection of object with a functional style of coding using the Lambda expression. So to understand what stream API is, you must have a knowledge of both Lambda expression and the functional interface. So before going to jump into the stream API feature, you must be very strong in the Lambda expression and the functional interface. So in the upcoming videos, we'll discuss Lambda expression and the functional interface in more descriptive way and through the real-time implementation. So don't worry on that. So this is about the stream API features. Now let me try to go to the next slide and discuss about the comparable and comparator. So comparable and comparator both are the interfaces that can be used to sort the element of the collection. Okay, so this comparable and comparators interfaces help us in sorting out the element of the collection. Both of the interfaces have uh, the methods that help us in sorting out the element of the collection. Comparator interface belong to the Java util package, while comparable belongs to the Java lang package. Comparator interface sorts the collection using two objects provided to it, whereas comparable interface compares this refer to the one object provided to it. So when I'm going to do a long video on the comparable and comparator, there we'll try to discuss how they are implemented and what are the method inside the comparable and comparator interfaces and how they are working. Everything will be very much clear in that video. So this is about the introduction, and let me try to go to the next slide and discuss about the optional class. So what is optional class? It is a feature that introduced in Java 8. It is used to represent nullable values safely and avoid the null pointer exception. So let's say there's a condition where some null pointer exception is being raised. There you can use the optional class to avoid the null pointer exception and to represent the nullable value safely. We will discuss these things through the practical implementation, so don't worry on that. Now let me try to go to the next slide and discuss about the new feature, which was new datetime API. So here you can see in the Java 8 there is a new datetime API introduced. Before Java 8 there was datetime API, but it was not as effective as the new datetime API which was introduced in Java 8. So new datetime API is introduced in Java 8 to overcome the following drawback of the old datetime API. The old datetime API was not thread safe and they were having less operation in the old datetime API. So the old datetime API was not thread safe. Unlike old java.util.date, which is not thread safe, the new datetime API is immutable and does not have setter method. So the new datetime API become thread safe. Similarly, the second feature was old datetime API was having a less operations. In old datetime API, there was only few date operations, but the new API provide us with the many date operations. Java 8 under the package java.time introduce a new datetime API. Most important classes among them are local, which is giving us the simplified datetime API with the no complexity of the time zone handling. And the second class was zoned, is specialized time date API to deal with the various time zones. So this zone class help us in providing this specialized time zones. Similarly, we have the local time and the local daytime API. So these are the new features which was introduced in the Java new daytime API, and we'll discuss all those things in the separate video in a very defined way. So this is about the features of the Java 8. Let me try to summarize it. So let me try to go to the first page, and these are the features. This was introduced in Java 8. Lambda expression, functional interface, method reference, stream API, comparable comparator, optional class, datetime API, and the miscellaneous. We will discuss that thing as well. So this is about the introduction of the Java 8 features, and in upcoming videos what I am going to do is I am going to pick up one feature at a time, and we'll discuss it in a very descriptive way through the real implementation. We are going to create the IntelliJ project, or you can say Java project, and there we'll try to break down how to write the Lambda expression or how to write the functional interfaces, what all functional interfaces we have, how to uh, write the method references and what all the method references have, and how we can write it. And then we'll go to the stream API. There we'll discuss about a lot of things on the stream APIs. There would be more than one videos on the stream API. Similarly, for the other feature also, we are going to discuss the things in the separate video. So stay tuned to this series, and please like the video, and please share the videos to the friend who are in need, and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.